Nasr Abu Abbas' pregnant wife went to her father-in-law to inform him that his son did not come back that night, and she tried many times to call him, but he did not answer. Nasr's father called his son again and again, but again there was no answer. At the crack of dawn, Nasr's father went to the police station to report that his son Nasr was missing and he's not answering his phone. He informed the police that he left the house, but he didn't tell them where he was going that day. But he informed him his last conversation with him was he was going to sell his Mercedes-Benz for 14,000 KD. He was excited about that because the car actually was worth 10,000 KD only. They called his friends, they called all the family. Nobody knew where he was. He didn't call anyone back. A missing person was filed, and the descriptions of his car was also filed for all the police stations. Kuwait is a small country, so one policeman actually saw his car parked outside of the DMV of Ahmadi area. DMV is where you go and do all your car registration, selling, and all these matters. The police searched the car and they only found one mobile phone inside the car, and nobody in the department, inside the department, reported that they saw him at all, coming in or going out. From the phone mobile company, the police got a record of all his phone calls. The record showed that there was a communication between a certain number that nobody recognized from his family that was going on few days before, but it stopped at the day he disappeared. From the investigation, they found out that this number belongs to a diwaniyah. A diwaniyah in Kuwait is a traditional place that is from hundreds of years for men to gather daily or weekly just to talk about anything and everything, play cards, watch TV, friends. Anyone can come in. Usually it is a room or a big room attached to the host that hosts the diwaniyah. The owner of this particular diwaniyah was named Bader. Bader is what used to be called Afghani Arabs. Afghani Arabs were people in Kuwait, Kuwaiti nationals or in the Arab countries that went and fought against the Russians in Afghanistan. They went to Al-Bosna also, Shishan. Wherever there is a conflict, they are considered themselves in jihad, and they went and fought in these countries. A lot of who came to this diwaniyah was actually from the same group. In 1992, Badr al-Mutairi, while fighting in Bosnia, got hit from a shrapnel from an RPG explosive. It hit him in the head, which caused him to be partially paralyzed, and he was unemployed. 25th of November 1996, they brought in Badr for investigations. He said he did not know Naser, and he said that maybe one of his friends or people that come to the diwaniyah made the call, because that phone was right there and anybody could have made the call, and he didn't monitor all the calls. It was a landline. Who remember what landline was? It was a landline, it wasn't a mobile. And he gave the names of his friends that could have made that phone call. Now, from the investigations and talking to the neighbors and watching the diwaniyah, and actually maybe they were watching it before because the Arab Afghan were watched those days, they found out that he did not name some names that actually were coming to his diwaniyah regularly. They compiled a list of those people that he didn't mention, and they went and investigated each one of them. The one that stood out was a person called Mutar al-Mutayri. He also does not have a job. He was fired from the Ministry of Interior. He also fought in Sudan, Yemen, and Bosnia, and has connections to the Arab Afghan. And he went with Bader himself, and they fought actually in many battles in many countries. They were brothers in arms. Mutar's brother died from an overdose a few years back, and he is known, he has a record. He was making a lot of problems, and the Ministry of Interior the police had a record on him, what is commonly known as a rap sheet. When Bader was faced about that, he admitted that yes, Mutar comes to his diwaniyah and he is his friend, but he forgot about him and he does not know what those phone calls were about. Mutar went into the police station on the 29th of November 1996 by himself because he knew he was going to be called, because Bader told him that they asked about him. He went in himself to get investigated. He admitted that yes, I did call Naser on his pager back then when they had pagers, and Naser called him back. He called him from the diwaniyah, and they agreed that he will buy his car, and he went with Bader to meet him at Ahmadi DMV to finalize the sale. But when they were there, Naser did not show up, so they both left. The police knows that Mutar is not working, he's unemployed, and his financial situation will not permit him to buy a 14,000 KD car. So he said that he was going to ask his brother to take a loan from the bank, and then he'll register the car in his brother's name. Now, when they talked to his brother, he denied that he asked him to do that at all. When they asked Mutar, why did you offer 14,000 KD for the car when the car actually is only 10,000 KD's worth? He said that he did not know about the car prices and he thought that was a good price for the car. The police put more pressure on Mutar to tell them the truth, to tell them if he knows where Naser is. And people kept looking, his family, other people were looking for Naser, asking about Naser, but they did not find him. The police officer in the investigation asked Mutar, why did you call Naser days before? But then when he disappeared, he did not call him at all. The common sense would say even when you went to the DMV and Naser did not show up, you would have called him to find out where he was, why he's not showing up. You guys were waiting for him. Confusion, Mutar said, we just didn't call him. We decided we don't want to buy the car from him. He didn't show up. Now the information that Mutar did not know, and it was a smart move from the police officer. The phone they found in Naser's car was a paired phone. Back then in the 90s, you have this big brick looking phone in your car, but you can also pair a small phone, a mobile phone, with that phone. So you have two phones with the same number. If that rings, this one rings, and then the record will show on both of them. The police did not say to anyone that they found that little phone, the mobile phone, in Naser's car, which Mutar did and Bader did not know, or any of the public knew about this information. Also, one of the Diwaniyah's friends of Bader stated that Mutar asked him to register a car in his name before Naser disappeared. Mutar asked this friend to register a car in his name because he couldn't register the car in his name, the bank, the loan. But that friend said no, he refused his request. Also, during the investigations, one of the neighbors of Naser's father's house, which Naser was living in, told him that somebody with a beard, few days before Naser's disappearance, came and was asking about Naser and his religion affiliation. Naser was from the Shia sect. Why is this important? Well, Mutar had a beard and he was from the Arab Afghans. They are very well known to be very strict. They have a strict interpretation of Islam. Anybody that does not believe in their ideas is considered an infidel. They can actually kill him with no regrets, and God actually will maybe reward them for that because they are kafir, they are infidels. During that, this caused an uproar in the media and a lot of discussion, and of course the media put flames under the case because Mutar was from Arab Afghans and he was a strict Islamic fanatic, and Naser Abu Abbas, even from his name, is Shia. So they speculate and inflated that was the cause of the crime, or at least Naser was picked from Badr and Mutar because he was from the Shia sect. After 18 days of intense investigations and a lot of pressure on Mutar, he finally confessed that he actually killed Naser. But he said that when they were at the DMV, they had a disagreement about the car price. Then they had a heated argument and Naser attacked them with a tire iron he produced from the car. But him and Badr pried it from his hand and hit Naser on the head. They tried to take him in Badr's car to a hospital, but he died on the way. They panicked, they went to the seaside and they got a boat and they put him in the boat. Then they dropped him in the sea near an island not too far away from the shore. Coast Guard divers went around this island searching for Badr's body, but they did not find anything. They impounded Badr's Chevrolet, the car that was used transporting Naser, and they did find traces of blood, and the front windshield, the front floor mats, and 2 chairs were replaced recently. The forensic lab confirmed that the traces of blood were Naser's blood. Badr finally told the real story. He said that after Mutar came to him and insisted that they do something because they needed money, they both didn't have work and they had financial problems. The idea was to lure someone that wants to sell a luxurious car, kill him, and then forge the registration papers and then sell the car. From the newspaper's ads, and after Mutar called and investigated about Naser, they chose Naser. After negotiating the price, they first went to a garage to check the car. After that, they agreed to meet in Ahmedi's DMV on the 23rd of November 1996. Naser showed up with the car. They started a fight with him, threatening him with the gun. They forced him in the car and handcuffed him. He sat next to Badr. He was driving the car. Mutar sat in the back seat. They took him far away to an area called Wafra, which is a farms area and mostly desert area by that time. Naser pleaded with them to let him go. He told them that he would give them the car for free. Please have mercy on him. He had a new baby coming. His wife is pregnant. His father and mother would be devastated if they lost their son. But Mutar shot him in the head. The bullet went through his head to smash the front windshield. After that, they stopped at the mosque, stole a prayer rug to cover Naser and to prevent the blood soaking into the car seats. They took him to Wafra, and then Mutar took the shovel, dug a shallow grave, and they buried Naser, his big block phone, his wallet, and his pen in the grave also. The police here also did not inform Mutar that Bader had a confession. After 26 days of investigations, Mutar said, yes, we buried him in Wafra. And he went with the police to the Wafra area to show them where they buried Naser. He showed them a place. Also, they dug all around and they did not find the body. He was prolonging and playing around, not telling the full truth. Again, he took them finally to the final resting place of Naser. He showed them the grave they dug up, and they found Naser's body with his phone, wallet, and pen. The cause of death was a bullet to the head. Mutar stated after that he took the gun and the handcuffs to one of his friends for safekeeping. The case went to trial. Mutar said that his confession was coerced and he confessed under torture. They did that to him because the police did not know who actually killed Naser, and they found him and they framed him for this crime. His friend hid or kept the gun and the handcuff. He said that he just did it for a friend. He did not know that they were evidence in a crime or they were used in any crime. At the beginning of the trial, the court's room was packed with the parents of Mutar and Bader and a lot of cameras and newspapers, because as I said before, this case caused an uproar in the society, and it was a crime of not stealing a car for money. It was a crime, a religious crime. A Sunni person from Arab Afghan chose to rob and kill Naser because he was from the Shia sect.
Your Honor, the prosecution alleges my client confessed to this heinous crime. However, I submit that this confession was extracted through coercion, through threats and physical violence. Such a confession, obtained under duress, cannot be considered reliable or admissible in court.
Objection. Your Honor, the defendant's claims of coercion are unsubstantiated and lack credibility.
Overruled. Defense counsel, please proceed.
Your Honor, I argue that the alleged crime itself is physically impossible. The prosecution claims my client orchestrated the transfer of ownership of the victim's car. Such a complex and risky operation would have required meticulous planning and execution. It would have left a trail of evidence, making it highly unlikely to go unnoticed.
At the end of the trial, the judge passed the sentence.
The court sentenced the accused, Mutar al-Matari and Bader al-Matari, for the crime of first-degree murder with premeditation and deliberation, to death by hanging.
Mutar's friend that kept the gun and the handcuffs was only passed a fine of 300 KD. After that, there was Court of Appeal, and the final decision of the Court of Secession was upholding the hanging of Mutar, but because of Bader's condition, he was handicapped, he suffers from epilepsy, but then when the doctors in the psychological hospital reviewed his case, they said that was not true. He was passed a sentence of life imprisonment because of his case. Mutar, while he was waiting for his sentence, demonstrated and kept his violent streak by stabbing an alleged drug dealer more than one time. At 7th of November 2000, 8:45, Mutar was prepared for his execution. With the religious man, the Imam, he prayed with him for forgiveness. But when the Imam told him to say, "God, please, I am remorseful of what I did," Mutar did not repeat those words. He asked that people that are convicted of capital punishment to be treated gently and care, because they are going to leave this world very soon. And he asked for a water fountain to be placed in his name in jail so he can get the good deeds from it. He kept prolonging and taking a long time doing that. The executioner actually asked for him to hurry up. The Imam pleaded with them to let him talk and take more time. He was going to leave life anyways. After he finished what he had to say, a rope was placed around his neck, a veil on his head, and the executioner pulled the trapped door lever. He was pronounced dead after there was no pulse detected in his heart after 13 minutes. This was the story of the murder of Naser Abu Abbas by Mutar al-Mutairi. Now, if you want to know how Mutar's family described or said what was really their side of the truth, which is really bizarre and a twist, please follow and listen to the next episode of True Crimes of Kuwait.